like, comment, and participate as the show unravels. All right. So today we will be talking about an amazing topic. Before we go into it, let me just say it: does religion impact the development of a country? But we're not going to go into that straight because I have some questions that precedes this discussion. Pastor Sheyi, how long have you been a pastor for?
Well, I've been a pastor for well close to 20 years now. I've been in ministry for close to 20 years.
Close to 20 years.
Yes,
That's a
but
whole lot.
yeah, but basically, pastoring a church for over 10 years now.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
With results, absolutely.
yeah, obviously.
Okay, so at what point did you choose your faith? Is it because you were born in a Christian family or you were exposed to a Christian community? At what point did you
Yes,
choose?
well, I was born into a Christian family, and I mean, like every Nigerian child, your parents' religion, so to say, becomes your religion.
True.
Because from the tender age, they take you to either the mosque or the church, depending on what they have chosen. So my parents were Christian, so
Okay.
I grew up in a Christian home, basically. But when I came of age, I had to choose for myself whether to follow the Lord or to do something else. So
Otherwise,
I chose to be a Christian at that point.
at that point.
Yeah, because that is deep, church attendance isn't real Christianity, as it were. So when I made my choice, by that I meant that I became a born again Christian.
Christian.
Yeah, at that point. But I was born into a Christian.
Okay. Absolutely. That is amazing to hear. Okay, we can now go into the topic, which is does religion impact the development of a country?
Of course, obviously, religion has a very great impact on the development of any country. Because one of the main factors of a progressive process of nation building is religion.
Absolutely.
And religion serves the society, serves several functions in the society. For example, the behavioral pattern, the social behavioral pattern, all of that, seems to be something that is shaped, by religion. Coexistence within the people is to a great extent shaped by religion. Political integration and a lot of that. All of those, religion has a way of shaping them, and those are some of the factors that counts for real development in a nation.
Absolutely. For some reasons, sometimes you hear people say that why can't the church? The church is making a whole lot of money. Why can't the church fix the road? Why can't the church do boreholes? Why can't the church fix electricity? What do you have to say about this kind
Well,
of comments?
Well, the church is absolutely rich. There's nothing anybody can do about that because
Exactly. The church is
because
rich.
we have the population, and then also, of course, population is money. We have the money. But if you look at it, the church is actually doing a lot.
A whole
But
lot.
yeah. But in any country, development is not basically in the hands of the church, it's in the hands of the government. Because government is not a monetization. The essence of the government of the government of any nation is to provide that enabling environment and make sure that there is proper condition or proper atmosphere or that climate that enables development. So the church in Nigeria is actually doing a lot, but obviously they can't do everything. And most of the people who make such statements, they're not looking at what the church is doing.
They're not even saying it.
They look away, and then they just try to come up with some of these stuffs, to stand more like an enemy of the church. For example, the Dream Christian Church of God, they've done a lot that I know. I happen to be part of the CSR board of a particular province. In fact, the secretary of the board, and I know quite a lot of things that we have done within our constituency, and that is the way it is done all over. Even look at Bishop David Oyedepo, who actually donated over $500 million to fix the Songoro Road at the point and all of that. At hospitals, everything. Look at the BOMA, for example, building those cells. So the church is doing a lot. But the truth of the matter is that this is not actually the principal assignment of the church. The principal assignment is to get people saved, prepare them for heaven. But we have to dive into such because we are here, we're dealing with people here at the moment. The church is a tax-free organization. They are not paying tax, so you expect them to be responsible to the society.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, Pastor Shea, I know you've been dealing with people for a long time, and then I would like to know, sometimes when a pastor is talking, everybody just feels like, when it comes to offenses, you walk to people. Like, I mean, official work, giving someone a contract to carry something out, and probably they don't do it. As a pastor, how do you respond? Do you arrest them and take them to the station, or you just let it go? How do you
Uh,
handle such situations, being that you're a pastor? Because pastors are being judged per second in this part of the world.
yeah, it depends on the case. There is no one solution for every
Everything.
case. Yeah, you
That's why I
just
cited. Maybe you gave someone a contract and they refused to carry out their assignments, and you've paid them
yeah,
something.
it still depends on the nature of the contract, the volume of the contract, and because, for example, if it's a personal contract, for example,
Okay.
emanating directly from me, it has to do with me and so on and so forth. Everything is within my space, A to Z. So at that point, well, you can say, well, I'm a pastor, blah blah blah, I don't want my name soiled. Okay, I can choose to forgive. Okay, for example, if it's a third party contract to the
Okay.
person, in the sense that it's a contract also awarded to me, and they had to award it to the company, and it's been messed up. So it's not directly within my power to take a
Yes.
hair.
You're also answering to
Yes, I'm
somebody.
also answerable to somebody. So at that point, a lot of things have come in, and then if if the fellow has to be arrested, he has to be arrested.
Wow.
Yeah, 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 he has to be. You see, that is one of the reasons why, for example, let's come down to the things that we encounter on a daily basis. That is why the downfall drivers, the Okada drivers, that's why they will do what they do on the road, and then they just keep doing it because they know that somehow they will get away with it. If they prostrate, or people around where it has happened will come and say, oh God, how much, you're a big man now, you leave them, they go.
Just
So
you pass them.
yeah, so there's no reason for them to be careful or to take caution. But if for every of those offenses you hit somebody, you are arrested, and so on and so forth, you will see that there will be a decline in the number of such that we see on our roads.
Nice.
So if you keep forgiving everybody because you are a pastor, you are duped, they mess up your integrity, or you are blacklisted in a company because somebody, and you just feel, well, I'm a pastor, then
So
we
let it
just have
go.
that all over, and then
There
that will
will be
continue.
lots and lots
Yes,
of problems.
yes. In any society, by the way, where people are not punished for offenses, you just have all kinds of stuff going on, and then
All manner of
yeah,
vices.
it never stops.
Never
It never
stops.
stops.
Absolutely. Pastor Shay, what's your take on Christianity and politics? Do you think that Christians should go into politics
Obviously,
and
Christian.
hold offices in it?
Obviously, Christians should go into politics. The Bible says that we are the salt of the earth. So, how do you salt the earth? It takes being in a place of authority where you're able to take decisions that affect the life of people. For example, how do I affect my local government? I'm the salt of the earth. I can shout that for as much as I want to shout in the church. I'm the salt of the earth. If, for example, I'm the local government chairman, it means I can sort everybody in that local government. I can take decisions that will influence
You now
and
have
impact
access and platform.
positively in the lives of the people. So Christians should go into politics, because if they do not go into politics, I said something the other time
All right.
that one of the major factor of any nation building process will be religion. For example, Christianity teaches humility. Christianity teaches
Peace.
integrity.
Yeah.
Christianity teaches living at peace with people. Christianity teaches a lot of stuff.
Transparency.
So when you have people who have this as part of their values, and you have them in governance, it means
To
that,
reflect.
yeah, it means that we can have something better than we have always had. And of course, if you look at the Bible, it says when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. So obviously, Christians, I believe that they must be in politics, or else you leave it for the rich traps. You shout for the rest of your life.
You just be shouting for nothing.
Yeah, exactly, for nothing. So we advise people to go and get your PVC. You are not going to elect people into offices by praying in your room.
Never.
You need to
That is
get
not the
you need to get
strategy.
your PVC, get out there and vote for the candidate of your choice that your conscience aligns with his or her values. That's it.
Okay, so Christians should die that idea that politics is not for us. We are not supposed to get involved. It is fetish. How about
I,
those who say that politics is fetish? They do this. Yoruba will say "Oman dira won," so they've cooked themselves. Most of those politicians do this and that. So we don't want to get ourselves involved in that.
that is very simple, because every religion has a way of cooking
There's a
their own
cooking
people.
involved.
There's a cooking involved. So if they cook themselves, via their herbalists, go to
You
your
have
pastor,
your
let your pastor cook
cook
you.
you.
Go to your imam, let your imam cook you. But the principal thing is that you have a good conscience towards the people. You have good ideas, you have great vision, and then you have strong values that promotes that. Then you need to get out, you need to be out there and vie for political offices. That's the way I see it.
That's that. So there's nothing like they are too fetish for us. So let's just hands off politics.
Oh, this is not a church. Someone like me, I don't like hearing this. I don't like hearing this fetish thing because, for example, we're talking about religion, politics, and so. If you're actually a child of God, each time they read to you in your church,
Yes.
that no weapon formed against
Is
me
it
shall prosper,
shall
and you
prosper?
and we always shouting and
As
screaming.
in, you are shouting
After I
it,
was
hitting your
screaming,
chest.
how come we get back home to say, if they hit you with
Yeah,
charm, you are
logo.
you are finished. Oh.
Is it that you don't believe in what you just heard or what you've been confessing?
Well, maybe, but I think that every religion has a way of cooking its own people. So if it's all about cooking, and you feel that's the reason you're afraid of politics, go to your pastors, go to imams, let them cook you. There are times where people are sick, they take them to the hospital, and you hear stuff like even from the doctors
Yeah, they'll say at
that
this
this this
point.
this is
Yeah,
beyond medical
physical.
science. I
Yeah.
think you should consult a spiritually. Go to your pastor or you go to your imam or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah,
life is spiritual.
yeah. So in that way, they also understand that every religion has a way of doing some of these things. So and then if Christianity believes, for example, and that is the truth, that we have the superior power
Yes.
when it comes to operating in that space, then there's no fear. There is absolutely no fear.
Sure. So if you're a Christian out there, you want to go into politics, feel free. You have all it takes. You have Jesus. You have the Holy
If they
Spirit.
don't know, let them come and meet us.
Oh,
We
if you
help them.
don't know, okay. Pastor Sheyi has donated himself.
I'm donating myself.
Okay, Pastor Sheyi, recently there was a horrible, gruesome killing in Sokoto. A young lady was killed because she expressed herself on a group chat on WhatsApp. She's a student. She was a student of a polytechnic in Sokoto. And I think someone posted a religious Islamic stuff on the group, and she reacted that this group is for assignments, it's for studies. We're not supposed to be posting religious stuffs. So you guys should probably stop this and all. And for some reasons, word spread, and eventually she was lynched. She
Yeah.
was stoned to death and burned. The remains was burned. Her remains were burned. So basically, I just want to know. A lot of reactions have been online. Christians are angry. Of course, it's very painful because why would you kill a person because you claim that she spoke to you? Is they said it's blasphemy? That was what they said. She said something about their prophet or that, and it's there are a lot of reactions online because people are like, why are pastors quiet? We have big and well respected pastors in Nigeria that haven't said nothing about this. She's not the first. There have been different things happening to people in the north like that, different cases like that. And this one has been, there's been so much reaction and pain in the hearts of people. As a pastor, how would you react to what do you have to say about this situation?
Well, the Islamic ideology is different from the Christian faith ideology.
Sure.
And I think that's why pastors have, not that they are quiet, they have not promoted a kind of reaction, like a
Absolutely.
counter reaction, because that is not the way of this faith. It's actually pathetic because I saw the video and basically, it was hard for me. It was hard for me to watch. And then also, if you look at the social media space, we've seen a lot of Islamic clerics come up with the fact that what they have done is not even in accordance with the
Yes, they
Islamic
said it's
faith.
against their
Yeah,
faith
I've
as
seen
well.
a
That
lot
they
of
preach peace.
yeah,
That's what they
I've seen
said.
a lot of Islamic cleric. I've watched a lot of video.
Yes.
Who, I mean, for people who actually condemn that, but also tying it to development, I think there is no way any nation can actually see proper development if we toe the line of religion the way we are actually taking it in Nigeria. For example, when you look at developed worlds, developed nations in the world,
In the world,
truly
yes.
developed nations in the sense of it, you don't have this kind of religious dichotomy here and there.
There's
Because,
inclusion.
for example, how do we vote the right candidate? If, for example, one of the presidential candidates, I'm sure it was online, one of the presidential candidates came out to actually support what happened,
Yes.
because she felt that is in line with the
Yeah.
tenets of that
Yeah.
religion.
Blasphemy. They said if you
So
speak against the
so
prophet, you should.
so how do we open our eyes and then vote such a person into office? Because we already have an idea of what such a
That person's
person
mindset and
is,
what they promote.
of what the person is coming to do, the person's mindset, and so on and so forth. So basically it's very pathetic. But my reaction, well, as pastor, and let me also digress a bit.
Okay.
How do you post a Christian couple to Sokoto, to Kaduna, to all of these stuff? I don't want my child to serve in those places.
It's so dangerous.
It is
You cannot
dangerous.
take that risk.
It is dangerous, because you never can tell. Now you've raised your child in southwestern Nigeria with certain beliefs, certain tenses in his mouth, words, and all of those stuff.
Certain freedom.
Certain freedom. You never can tell what he or she would do in that place, and it leads to something else. So it's really, really scary for me to allow my child to serve in the north, and I am unapologetic about that.
It.
So how do we have proper development? How do we have good real
Exactly.
development
That's what leads to
in a
our
nation?
topic today.
Yeah.
Yes. How does religion impact the development of the nation? Because apparently now, funny enough, because the nation rose up, everybody was talking about it. So they arrested those that actually, set her on fire and killed her. Now, like we're talking before the show started, about 30 something lawyers showed up to defend those that actually lynched Deborah to death, standing for them to be released. And then now they're destroying Christians' shops and all those things. How can we call Nigeria a developed nations? Developed nation with this kind of things that happen.
Well, Nigeria is still a third world nation.
Absolutely.
You have first world, second world, third world. Nigeria is a third world nation. So
But we want to get to a point.
Well, we hope to.
We hope to, absolutely.
But the truth of the matter is, if we continue this way,
if we continue, how do we?
It will remain a mirage, and that is why currently the brain drain in Nigeria is crazy. It's crazy. Everyone wants to leave this country.
The Japa,
the
mindset is strong.
Japa syndrome. It's even so bad that we're not talking about those who are suffering, or the middle class, or those who are poor. I mean, even those who you would never expect, those who have good jobs, those working in the oil sector, the banking industry. It's not basically about finances.
Yes.
It's about
these people are doing well in this nation.
Yeah, it's about peace of mind. It's about security. And
your mental health too, because you're coming out every day, you don't know what to expect. Now, not just that, a guy was lynched too by these Okada riders.
Yeah, I saw that was a Lekki.
Yes, in Lekki recently, because he wasn't even the one that had the direct altercation with the bike guy. He was his boys. They were coming to work with him, and he came outside to intervene. And the next thing, they overpowered the people. They wanted to run back into the place he came out from, but they locked the gate because those ones were afraid, so they don't destroy their stuff. The bike guys, the Okada Malams overpowered them, and then bought the guy.
I saw that too. So how do you bring justice to that? Because these bikers, these Okada riders, they come into Lagos en masse. They don't even have an address.
Exactly. They are not regulated.
You can't trace them to anywhere. They are not regulated.
Most of their bikes don't have numbers.
They live anywhere, by that religion. Anywhere, it's dark, you just sleep anywhere.
There, yeah.
And if anything happens, they care less about life. Is one Allahu Akbar or something like that.
And they're good to go.
They're good to
Absolutely.
go. There's no money, there's no nothing. So the truth of the matter is that, how does a nation develop if we do not pay core attention to all of these stuff? We need to. It is very, very important. And for those 37 lawyers who came to the court to defend those who were caught, for lynching the young girl, my question to them would be that if it was their daughter, would they appear in court to defend anyone for lynching their daughter for a cause that is not justifiable? I'm not sure they want to do that. So I call that the brainwash of religion. I call that the ignorance of religion. They are just naturally ignorant. That's the truth. Because the Prophet Muhammad that they claim they serve, I'm not sure, send them to do all of this stuff. Like we've seen so many people said.
Some of their leaders have come out to say.
It's just crazy. I mean, it's something that it's absolutely unbearable.
Okay, another thing that is concerning is that we have two constitutions in Nigeria. There is the Sharia that have their own law. So when Nigeria says don't kill a person, this is what you will face. Sharia will tell you if you kill a person because this person did this, it's okay.
Well, that is one of the reasons why a number of elites, are clamoring for the breakup of this nation.
Absolutely.
Because they believe that we have a nation in a nation. The Constitution of Nigeria, Federal Republic of this is a federal republic. This is a federal republic. So we don't. That's why we don't have state police. That's why we don't have this, because it is a federal republic and everything stems from the federal. So if we have a constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I think it should be binding on any state. I don't see any reason why a state says, well, we are not going to operate
they should be exempted.
Yeah, we want to operate Sharia law because of this and that. And, so those are some of the issues that I think it's the lawmakers who needs to do this. And the truth of the matter is, you see, there's a strong relationship between religion and development. If you have majority of the lawmakers,
yes,
to be people who believe also in the Sharia, so how do you change anything in the house?
That's also another thing.
How do you change anything in the house? And
If
you know by all standard, we will always have them. Because sometimes, even when you look at the national population census and you look at the population state by state, sometimes we travel to these states and we wonder, where are all these people living?
Yes.
Is it this state that we have told A to Z, the length of this state? Where are the houses that they are living in? You'll be shocked. Some of the states in the northern part of Nigeria, the population triples some of the states in the
especially during the votes,
in the southwest, where you hardly find the space to put your legs. So you are wondering, where are all these people living? So there's no way until we come to a place where we are sincere and we see Nigeria as one, that we'll never really achieve anything.
But Pastor Sheikh, can we ever get to that place where we see Nigeria as one?
Yeah, it's going to take a while, and that will begin with us getting the right people who have the interest of the nation at heart, not the interest of a particular ethnic group, not the interest of a particular religion. We need somebody who cares less about religion, somebody who actually values humanity.
Humans,
okay. Until we get to that point, there will never be a change.
There will never be a change. No. Absolutely. Okay, guys, we're still talking to the wonderful Pastor Shay. This is the BRR show, the business relationship and real life issues show. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that right away. Just click on the subscribe button and then you'll be getting notifications. Comment and like, talk to it about your family and friends to enjoy all of our shows. Okay, so let's just digress a bit from the sad and gruesome murder of Deborah. Pastor Shay, what has been your highest joy moments in your ministry journey so far?
Well,
what gives you so much joy?
There are many of such, and that is basically when I see souls saved. Okay. Because the essence of being a man of God is that you are answering the call of God to get as many in the kingdom of God. So absolutely. that's the primary assignment. So for me, when I see souls, it gives me a lot of joy. I've done a lot of things in ministry. Okay. But the zenith of it is to just get so saved. We've turned people millionaires. Wow. We've created business ventures that is helping a number of people. We've done a lot of social responsibility initiatives that has changed, elevated poverty for a lot of people. But all those still don't give enough joy as when we see souls saved. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That's good to hear. Yeah. Okay, Pastor Shay, this is a funny question, but I think I should ask. Please go ahead. Should pastors work? People will tell you you're a pastor. Well, should pastors have business and their own hustles, or they should just sit down and if you don't have, you will suffer. Okay, straight up answer. No, if you don't have, you'll suffer. Except you are. If I do have, you suffer. There's no except. I will explain to you. I tell young people in ministry, when you look at the pattern of ministry, even in Scripture, New Testament pattern of ministry, people like Paul, they had occupational identity. Jesus called 12 disciples. The 12 of them had occupational identity. They were all doing something before he called them. And while he called them, I believe that on the side, they left somebody to oversee the business. Of course. And then they were watching the returns. If not, when Jesus Christ died, Peter said immediately, I go back to my business. If there was no business, what was he going back to? If he had abandoned it. He can't go back to it that way. And within how many days that Jesus resurrected, he was already on the water fishing. Jesus came to pull him out of that business again. And said, Peter, is this how much you love me? A few days you have gone back. You don't go back to also. So again, let me say it this way. If you're a young man and you're going into ministry, you do not have a job, you're not working and all of that, you will give fake prophecies because you are going to pay school fees just like we pay school fees. You are going to pay rent just like we pay rent. So you give fake prophecy, you have to deceive people to make this money. So I tell you, go and work. When your ministry grows to a point that you cannot combine it with work, it's obvious. Everybody knows the demands of the ministry.
Yes.
And at that time, it will not be a ministry with a 500,000 monthly income, with a 1 million monthly income. It means the ministry demands your time, things are growing, and then you can be sufficiently paid and be taken care of by the ministry. And even when you look at the top men of God in Nigeria, they say Bishop Oyedepo is the richest man of God in the world presently. That man has got chains of businesses. It doesn't, chains of businesses. It does not even depend on the time. I also heard of a man of God that, very popular. Let me just keep his name because of what is involved in. A lot of people say this man is using church money, but it was just one of the days that I got to know that is one of the biggest boy with respect to the crypto world in this country. I mean, breaking in tons and tons of millions in dollars. So
absolutely.
definitely, as a pastor, I think you should find something to do. When you get to that point that you cannot combine it with your ministry, we know you will not be you will not be the one telling us. We'll be the one advising you that I think don't kill yourself. You need to quit.
Focus on ministry.
And when you do that, you might still have a business that is running, that people are overseeing.
Okay.
And then once in a while, you have time to check your returns and so on and so forth. So advise pastors to work.
Okay. Pastors, you need to work. All right.
No,
so
we need to work.
It's not a thing of shame, because there are some people that are ashamed, like, okay, I'm doing the work of God and then I'll not go and look for a job. Like, I will not be submitting CV.
Okay, the key is, how does he want to take care of the church, the family, the home front, and so on and so forth? So how does he want to do that? You have to depend on offerings. You have to depend on sacrificial giving from people. That is more insulting, because
at that point, if it doesn't come, you now have to start doing other things to make sure that it comes in.
Yeah, so the basic advice is that I advise men of God to work, let them have a business. For me, for example, I have a few businesses that I run. I have never depended on the church. I know someone doesn't like to hear this. Someone one time said, well, I don't want to go into that, but for every church I've pastored, I've been the highest giver, and someone was just not pleased with that.
So it's a good record.
Yeah, I mean, you can't
outgive me.
You can't outgive me. And if you do, well, I've not pastored a church where that record is set, and I've pastored very successful churches, but it's not about how much you even have now, it's about the heart to give.
Yes.
You can be richer than me. I'm not saying I'm the richest.
Yes, absolutely. You may not be the richest in your church.
I'm not even the richest.
But you're the highest giver.
Because the heart. Giving is about the heart. It's not about what you have.
Absolutely.
You can have, and you don't have the heart to release that much. And somebody may have little. The widow released all that she had.
Oh.
And then Jesus said she gave more than everybody. So it's not about what you have, it's about the heart to give.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Pastor Shay, do you believe that the church has a role to play in establishing members of the church? Sometimes I've heard, I'm a church person, so I know how the church has been, how things go on in church. You hear, okay, what we do in church is just to give you the word and go. Do you think that the church should support people, create avenues for them to make money, link them up with something they can do? What is your take on that?
You can't just preach to people and let them go, because Jesus didn't do that. When people were hungry, he fed them. He fed 5,000 people, and that's an example is setting.
Beautiful example.
You always have hungry people in the church. Jesus didn't preach the word to them, and they just got fed by the word. He fed them. You understand?
Yes.
Which means that when we have poor people, it's also part of our responsibility, to turn them to the rich,
okay,
or make sure that they're established and they have something doing. And that begins with the kind of words, that you speak to them, that shapes their perception, which is very, very important. And practically, if you have means, to create those opportunities, practically, I think you have to create them, because at the long run, it will be to the benefit of the body of Christ. Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Wow. That is amazing. It's been so much fun talking to Pastor Shay. All right, guys, we've come to the end of today's interview. Pastor Shay, is there anything you want to say to anybody out there that is listening to us, like your final word?
Yeah, well, I would say that by the grace of God, humanity first, humanity first, because we are talking about religion,
yes,
and then development. Humanity first. When you put humanity first, it will help and it will shape how you relate with people. Now, if you are now a Christian, of course, that puts you on another level because that is what Christianity actually teaches. But generally, I'm speaking to, there are people of different religion watching this show. So I say humanity first, because if we think that way, so many of the things that happens on the basis of our love for our religion won't take place.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is amazing. Thank you very much, Pastor
you're
Shay. All right,
welcome.
guys, I'm still your girl, JK. We'll come to the end of the BRR show today. It's the business, relationship, and real life issue show. And today we talked about real life issues, right? All right, guys, same time next week, every Wednesday on TLIG Africa TV in the afternoon. Just come in and we will be talking about amazing stuff, all right? So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, share with your family and friends. These are things that would bless and then impact a lot of people. Thank you guys for being a part of today's show. You can follow me on my Instagram at JK_OEP, JKAY_OEP. Thank you.